for inviting me to deliver this inaugural lecture. Unfortunately, as some of you might know, I graduated from the university across the street. But today, I am with Ateneo and I'm wearing blue. Napakabigat naman itong paksa na binigay sa akin. Kaya siguro dapat tayo mag-seryoso kagad. Are you ready? Sabi nila, kapag sumama ka sa matalino, magiging matalino ka. Kapag sumama ka sa barumbado, magiging barumbado ka. Sumama ka kaya sa akin, baka sakaling maging akin ka. Pambili ng regalo ngayong Pasko, bigyan mo na lang ng kiss at sabihin mo, nga ayaw mo ng regalo, ibalik mo. Kung may nagtingin sa iyo ng kiss at hindi mo siya type, sabihin mo, pagbibigyan kita basta goodbye kiss. Kung may pangit ka na nagsabing, pwede bang manligaw, sagutin mo, sure, basta hindi sa akin. This speech is entitled Youth Activism Across the Electoral Cycle, Defining Youth Participation. First, let us define the term political participation, and then we'll define a more specific term of youth activism. Political participation is defined as those actions by private citizens by which they seek to influence or to support government and politics. In more detail, it means any dimension of activity that is either designed directly to influence government agencies in the policy process or indirectly to impact civil society or which attempt to alter systematic patterns of social behavior. The history of youth political participation consists of the following. Number one, conventional participation, which conformed to norms and traditions. In the 1940s to the 1960s, the structured and lawful activities took such forms as voting, lobbying, party affiliation, joining political organizations, parties or meetings, and other activities related to the electoral process. Number two, unconventional participation. In the late 1960s and the 1970s, political participation took unconventional forms such as civil disobedience, political protest, or political violence. These more aggressive, more assertive, and even unlawful forms consisted of petitions, demonstrations, boycotts, rent strike, tax strike, unofficial industrial strike, occupation of buildings, blocking of traffic, damage to property, or even personal violence. Number three, alternative participation after the 1990s, which were sometimes unofficial and informal. Today, youth participation takes the form first advocated by the classic authority, Alexis de Tocqueville. We now take the so-called communitarian approach, which includes civil activities, volunteering, and social engagements. This communitarian approach is represented by Partido Cruzada, which stands for Christian Union for Socialist and Democratic Advancement, founded and based in this university. Why should you engage in youth participation? There are two benefits. First, youth participation helps to develop the entire society or community. Second, youth participation helps to promote the civic and political life of young people. More specifically, the main benefit of youth participation is that it produces positive psychosocial results by enhancing open-mindedness, personal responsibility, social and civic competence, moral and ego development, and a sense of advocacy and self-esteem. It also contributes to organizational, community, and political development. Defining youth activism. Having defined youth participation, let me now proceed to its most dramatic form, youth activism. In an international youth parliament, Oxfam defined activism as efforts to create changes in the behavior of institutions, or organizations through action strategies such as lobbying, advocacy, negotiations, protest, campaigning, and raising awareness. Youth activism produces civic engagement because it serves as a vehicle for expressions of dissent, attempts to effect change, or efforts to place issues on the political agenda. The most familiar perspective of youth activism is its generational approach because of its focus on events and social movements. Activism does not involve as many people as other civic activities such as voting. But it has been correctly pointed out that the importance of youth activism cannot be measured by participation rates alone. Youth activism has a strong impact, as shown, for example, by protests and demonstrations connected with the anti-globalization movement. Thus, activism has peer effects, raising young people's awareness of issues and expanding their perceptions of what may be achieved. Is activism a good thing for the individual or the society? Youth activism is good, even when it consists of different social expressions such as right-wing and immigrant skinhead movements and sweatshop campaigns. The aims and practices of religiously inspired extremist groups and activities aimed at social change among the younger members of mainstream religious organizations. Hence, youth activism consists of a complex array of activities that are inherent parts of civil society and which represent many complexities and contradictions. In broad terms, activism can be classified into progressive and non-progressive activism. Progressive activism centers around human rights and social justice issues. Non-progressive activism centers around the youth who feel marginalized or threatened and seek to change the policies and behavior of powerful institutions with the use of media and ICT, meaning information and communication technology. With Partido Cruzada, I strongly urge you to consider participating in the following activities. Bullet, protest, events, and direct actions, whether violent or non-violent. Consider lang naman hindi ko man sinabi gawin agad. Bullet, advocacy campaigns to change the policies and behavior of powerful institutions, including the national government and transnational corporations. Ako nga senado lang ako, nagsisira ng ulo ko kung minsan. Patay na talaga ako ng tao. Minsan malilitan nyo. That's why I've included even violent protest events and direct action. Sometimes action speaks better than words. Bullet, consumer boycotts and other uses of market power to effect change. Bullet, information gathering and dissemination to attract media attention and raise public consciousness. Activism in Philippine new media. The contemporary history of new media began in 2009 during the presidential campaign in Iran, when the so-called Twitter revolution emerged. It inaugurated the new phenomenon called citizen journalism. Aided by Iranian bloggers, eventually the Arab world rose in open revolt against the authorities. In 2010, Tunisia witnessed a full-scale revolt in the form of the Jasmine Revolution. Within less than a year, the so-called Arab Spring led to the downfall of political leaders in Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, Yemen, Syria, Bahrain, and Iraq. National governments today are struggling to support a disproportionately large, young, and dependent population, which experts call the youth bulge. With the advent of the youth bulge, the Arab Spring led to the following mass protest movements. Bullet, Occupy Wall Street in New York. Bullet, Gezi Park protest in Turkey. Bullet, Sunshine protest in Taiwan. Bullet, Occupy Central in Hong Kong. But despite the publicity, the ultimate analysis, technology is a neutral variable. It has its strengths and its weaknesses. Twitter and Facebook are effective only to a certain degree. Many technological filters and firewalls have been created in sophisticated countries such as China, Russia, and Iran. The Facebook and Twitter accounts of protesters have been infiltrated by pro-government spies and hackers. Politicians in power, notably in the Philippines, set up a myriad of fictitious accounts so that they can manipulate campaigns of disinformation. One drawback of new media activism is that it might be strong on rapid mobilization, but it is weak in long-term strategic thinking, collective organization, and issue-specific sustained advocacy. It has often failed to produce results. For example, allow me to raise the question, what does million people march in Luneta achieve with respect to government reforms? Before the 1992 presidential elections, I organized and registered the People's Reform Party in hopes that it would become a genuine agent of change in Philippine politics. In the 2016 presidential elections, when I'm rid of my lung cancer, I intend to claim the presidency. I will. So that I can impose in Philippine politics what we need so badly: internal discipline, a defined vision and policy agenda, internal exercise of democracy, and a mass cross-sectoral base. Remember, Twitter and Facebook have uses, but they are not substitutes for organization and discipline in campus politics. Across the electoral cycle, the United Nations Development Program advocates the inclusion of youth in formal politics in order to overcome authoritarian practices and the inclusion of youth in new formal decision-making. In fact, should I be elected president, I intend to appoint a cabinet, half of whom shall be from the youth sector, and half from nothing less than a force for transformative social change. Yan sa mga gobyerno natin, tandaan nila eh. Observe two basic principles. Bullet. The first basic principle is that support for political participation of young people should extend across the electoral cycle, meaning that youth activism in politics should be a continuous effort and should not be limited to the campaign season only. Bullet. The second basic principle is that youth political participation should go beyond token gestures and instead should be meaningful and effective. The nation is about to enter 2015, which is a campaign year. Partido Cruzada can consider the following measures across the electoral cycle. Bullet. Before the electoral period, support volunteer organizations to ensure honest elections. You can do this by bridging the digital divide using mobile phones and radio, as well as by using online platforms for knowledge sharing and networking, such as social media, blogging, and other online tools. Bullet. During the electoral period, support voter education campaigns so that voters will cast their votes for candidates who exhibit outstanding academic and professional excellence, not other skills that are completely irrelevant to good governance. Meron akong tinutukoy dito. In fact, after this forum, I plan to file a bill to include young people on COMELEC boards as poll station workers and election observers. Emulate the example of Germany, where the youth organized a parliament watch to compel candidates to debate. Bullet. In the post-electoral period, after the elections, organize national youth councils or a national youth parliament that will shadow the work of Congress and the national government. This youth parliament should have access to executive departments and to Congress so that it could influence national youth policies. Among my ideas is an internship scheme for students in Congress, which I began during my first term as senator. Youth political activism will be a definite service both to God and our country, which is gripped by so much corruption and poverty that it can reduce you to tears. However, let me use the encouraging words of the poet who wrote, God moves in a mysterious way, His wonders to perform. He plants His footsteps in the sea and rides upon the storm. Deep in unfathomable minds, of ever-failing skill, he treasures up his bright design and works his suffering will. People of Ateneo, pray to our Lord. Lord, reform this country and begin with me. Thank you.